If you're considering a move to my home state of Texas, but you're still trying to figure out which spot is best for you, I'm breaking down the top metros to ultimately help you decide where you should live. We're covering things like the cost of living, lifestyle, and so much more. When people think of Texas, they often think of our four major metros, which are Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, and San Antonio. And each of these areas comes with a completely different feel and set of offerings, which is exactly what we're diving into here today. Let's first break down the size of each major metro, which directly impacts the lifestyle and quality of life that you can expect. Most of these metros fall into the top 10 largest cities in the entire United States, which many people often don't even expect. So working our way from the smallest to largest cities, this one might actually really surprise you, considering the population within just the cities themselves and not the surrounding metro or suburbs. The smallest city between Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, and Austin is actually going to be Austin with close to 1 million people. For many years, Austin was sitting at roughly the 10th largest city in the United States, but recently spots like Fort Worth near Dallas and Jacksonville, Florida of all places, surpassed Austin by just several thousand residents. So we'll see if that continues here in years to come. Working our way north of Austin is our next city on the list with roughly 1.3 million people, and this is the city of Dallas. Interestingly, Dallas is the only city on our list today that has seen a very slight population decline year over year, which is likely due more to people moving to the suburbs instead of within Dallas proper itself. Our next city really seems to surprise people, and that is San Antonio, which is larger than both Dallas and Austin with over 1.5 million people and typically sitting around the sixth largest city in the United States. Again, these numbers are not including any of the surrounding suburbs, just the cities themselves, and I'll explain exactly why that matters here shortly. The next city on our list is currently the fourth largest in the entire country and the largest in the state of Texas with over 2.3 million people, and that is the city of Houston. Again, it's important to point out that there are dozens of suburbs around each of these cities making up a much larger metro area. For example, if we include the entire Austin metro, which currently covers 6 counties and a landmass of over 5,000 square miles, the population nearly triples to 2.5 million people. In larger cities like Houston, the landmass doubles and the population triples to close to 7.5 million people. So as you probably suspect, the size of each city makes for a very different experience and lifestyle. So let's talk more about that specifically. In the more populated cities like Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio, you'll find that they're much more spread out. And because of that, you can expect a more complex system of highways and infrastructure to really accommodate those larger populations. In a city like Austin, though, the smaller population and landmass have led to, I'd say, a more dense city center, and the road systems aren't quite as sophisticated as what you're going to find in these other larger cities that I'm covering. With that being said, though, Austin also tends to have a more local feel to it, as opposed to the massive setups that you're going to find in Houston, Dallas, and even parts of San Antonio. So let's get into more of the fun stuff and dive into what each of these cities is really known for and some of that local flair that you can expect, including weather and really nice outdoor offerings. It's important to point out that Texas is the second largest state and covers nearly 300,000 square miles of land, which means big differences between each city in terms of weather patterns, outdoor offerings, and just sheer natural beauty. To keep things consistent, we'll continue working our way from smallest to largest city, starting with Austin. Austin's vibe is one that's really known for being creative, laid back, eclectic, and so much more, but there's one major feature that people seem to really overlook. Before getting into that, though, let's talk about Austin's economy. It's strong with a very low unemployment rate, driven largely by the tech industry, healthcare, and government. Not only has Austin been nicknamed Silicon Hills because of its many startups and larger tech presence, it's also the capital of Texas itself, which offers a wide range of government jobs, as well as the well-known University of Texas at Austin. Medical and local grocers, surprisingly, are also very large employers here in the area. From an entertainment standpoint, Austin has been known as the live music capital of the world for decades now, and it's really famous for its vibrant local music scene, hosting annual events like South by Southwest and Austin City Limits, also known as ACL. Austin is also home to some very nice music venues like Moody Theater, the newer Moody Center, and other legendary iconic spots like Stubbs Amphitheater. Now, keep in mind, this doesn't even scratch the surface though when it comes to local music venues. Austin also has several districts, primarily located downtown, that are the main spots for nightlife, so there's something for everyone in the city of Austin. Another big driver of Austin's international presence is the addition of the Circuit of the Americas several years ago, which is the Formula One track that hosts various events throughout the year, including our really popular Formula One Grand Prix. On top of the great college sports offerings through the University of Texas at Austin, Austin now has a very popular pro soccer team of all sports called Austin FC. Although the music and entertainment offerings are fantastic, of course, I don't even see this as the major draw to Austin. What makes Austin incredibly special, in my opinion, is its natural beauty and all of the outdoor options throughout the entire city. In other Texas cities that I'll cover today, you're not going to find people kayaking on a river within the heart of the city or wake surfing along the Colorado River just minutes from downtown like you will in Austin. This is one of the things that I think makes the city so incredibly unique. A big reason for this is that Austin is actually situated in the hill country of Texas, giving you more of a rolling hills landscape even near downtown. This really lends itself to tons of those outdoor activities like hiking and biking, and really cooling off in some of the natural lakes and springs that we have in the area. The popular ones are Lady Bird Lake downtown, Barton Springs right around the corner, and even Lake Travis about 30 minutes west of downtown. What's also unique is that a lot of the neighborhoods are built all around these spots, really adding to that quality of life component. One of my other favorite things about Austin lately is the fantastic food scene. With the growth and influx of business relocation into the city, we now have restaurants that rival some of the best you'll find even in the larger cities like LA and New York City, including a handful of Michelin star or Michelin recognized restaurants, which is huge for the area. Before moving along to our next city, you might be curious about the weather. All Texas cities are going to get hot in the summer, but have really nice mild winters overall. This does vary though based on exactly where you're located, which I'll break down for each location. Austin is more centrally located within the state and in the hill country away from the Gulf of America. This makes for a much more semi-arid and less humid environment than what you're going to find in a spot like Houston, situated along the Gulf. The higher elevation set in the hill country also typically means a slightly cooler temperature, again, still hot in the summer, and nice breezes and airflow even in the hottest of months. All of these cities are primarily sunny throughout the year, and the winters can get cold but are mild overall, especially in comparison to many of the other colder states. And although we have had it in recent years, getting snow in the Austin area is incredibly uncommon. You might also be wondering about the affordability in each location, and I'm definitely going to dive into that today as well. But moving right along to our next largest city, we're going to call this one modern, fast-paced, and just a little bit more Texan than some of the other spots that we're talking about today, although this is very much changing with a lot of the growth and influx from other states. Dallas is the next city on our list, and it's known for its high-end shopping, dining, and popular art scene. One of the things that I love about Dallas is the great food you're going to find, from our typical casual spots to high-end dining, especially in the heart of Dallas itself. Speaking of, people in Dallas like to get dressed up, and I find that it's less casual than what you're going to find in other Texas cities. Of course, this definitely varies based on areas within Dallas, but especially in your more affluent neighborhoods like Highland Park, the overall feel tends to be just a bit more structured. Dallas is also known for having the largest urban arts district in the United States, including the Dallas Museum of Art and the Winspire Opera House, along with many, many others. If you're also looking for nightlife and entertainment, there's a really good mix from the more upscale spots in areas like Uptown to a more casual live music scene in areas like Deep Ellum, and really everything in between for that matter. For you sports fans out there, Dallas is definitely more robust than Austin. It's also home to the Cowboys NFL team, the Mavericks NBA team, and the Stars hockey team, so no shortage of professional sports teams. From an economical standpoint, Dallas also has a strong economy with major industries like finance, tech, and telecommunications. The Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, also known as DFW, is a significant economic and cultural hub in the state of Texas. To put this in perspective, Fort Worth is the other half that makes up the DFW metro, and these two cities combined, not including any of the surrounding suburbs whatsoever, makes DFW the size of our largest Texas city, Houston. When you add all of the surrounding suburbs, this is a huge area. We just talked about Austin being located in the Texas Hill Country. Dallas is very different. The DFW area is primarily flat farmland that's been developed over the years. You won't find the same type of hills and views as you will in cities like Austin and San Antonio, but the Dallas area does have a handful of lakes throughout, along with walking and biking trails, with a really popular one being Katy Trail that runs directly through Dallas itself. With this flatter topography, the homes and neighborhoods are also going to reflect this. If a big hill country view is important to you, you might want to pivot to another city within the state of Texas. On the flip side, the cost of developing this flatter land is lower than in areas like Austin and parts of San Antonio, so you're often able to get a little bit more for your money just outside of Dallas proper. The homes themselves are also very nice, oftentimes situated on spacious lots, especially in those surrounding suburbs, and they offer a lot of value in their own way. In terms of weather throughout Dallas, it's also hot like other cities throughout Texas with those similar fairly mild winters. Because you're away from the Gulf, you're also not going to have the high humidity like you will in those nearby cities. One difference to point out though is that Dallas is located in North Texas, fairly close to Oklahoma. Because of the area and the flat land that I mentioned, it is conducive to tornadoes. Although I wouldn't say they're super common, they have hit Dallas and certainly the surrounding areas. And while I wouldn't say this is a major concern for the area, it's definitely something to be aware of while you're searching for a new spot to live. Before moving right along, I want to quickly welcome you to the channel where it's all about living in Texas. My name is Aubrey Von Barron. I'm a licensed real estate broker here in the area, helping hundreds of people move to and from the state. Being born and raised here, I love sharing all of my favorite parts about the great state of Texas. So if you are buying or selling a home in the area, my team and I would certainly love to help. Working our way to the second largest city of San Antonio, the words I would use to describe the city are relaxed, historical, and family friendly. I was actually born and raised in San Antonio before calling Austin home for nearly the past 20 years. And I find that San Antonio has a much more relaxed and casual atmosphere compared to the other major Texas cities. San Antonio also has iconic spots like the popular Riverwalk downtown and historical landmarks like the Alamo that are rich in Texas history. The economy is also very diverse with major sectors in military, healthcare, tourism, and even financial services. San Antonio has several large military bases, so you'll find a huge military presence throughout the city, which really adds to its unique character. For years, the downtown Riverwalk has been a central hub for dining and entertainment, and with the newer mixed-use developments that are super nice, like the Pearl and newer Riverwalk extension, you have a very growing and vibrant food scene with much trendier local restaurants and an environment that I've ever seen in the San Antonio area. San Antonio also has a large Hispanic population, which heavily influences the city's culture, great food, and even festivals every year. One to check out is the city's annual fiesta, held every April, and this is a major cultural event with parades, food, and tons of music. It's just a really great time down in the city. For the pro sports fans out there, San Antonio is also home to the Spurs, the local NBA team. You're also in the Texas Hill Country in parts of San Antonio, so you're going to find pretty city and state parks and neighborhoods with hill country views and a variety of really nice topography. I find that the weather is quite similar to what you're going to find in Austin, and because you're about the same distance from the Gulf, you have a much less humid environment, which makes a world of difference. Around San Antonio, you'll also find several lakes, including Canyon Lake just north of the city as you head towards Austin. Another really popular spot for residents throughout Texas, but primarily San Antonio, Austin, and Houston, is going to be Lake LBJ in the Horseshoe Bay area just outside of Austin and north of San Antonio. Now onto our largest city of Houston. Due to its sheer size and international population, you're going to find a largely diverse and very dynamic city throughout. This also has much to do with Houston's economic powerhouse in the energy sector, in particular oil and gas. Houston also has the world's largest medical complex, the Texas Medical Center, which plays a very big role in its local economy. Houston, being one of the largest cities in the country with a huge international presence, also means a wide, great range of food options and a vibrant nightlife. The performing arts scene is also huge, and Houston's theater district is actually second to only New York City itself. You will also find a museum district with 19 museums, so you're always going to have something to do throughout the city. Let's not forget the sports fans out there. Houston is home to several professional sports teams, the Astros, Rockets, and Houston Texans. Houston is situated in East Texas and close to the Gulf of America. Because of this, you're going to experience a much warmer and much more humid climate throughout. Texas is hot, but Houston heat is tough with that really high humidity. One perk though is that you're also closer to the Gulf and can take advantage of all of the open water boating and fishing along this coastal area just a short drive away. That's really, really nice. For day-to-day living though, you should definitely prepare yourself for feeling like you're sitting in a sauna, especially in those warmer months. Also, if you have high maintenance hair like I do, don't get upset if you have frequent bad hair days. It just comes with the territory, but something that's not super important. It's also important to point out that because of Houston's Gulf Coast location, you can experience occasional hurricanes and tropical storms, which can often lead to flooding and other unexpected events. You'll definitely want to pay close attention to these things when you're purchasing a home, both in terms of safety itself, but also insurance requirements, especially in a much more difficult insurance environment throughout Texas. From a natural beauty standpoint, Houston is primarily flat with many pretty large oak trees throughout parts of the city and surrounding suburbs, so a lot of nice green vegetation, especially being so close to the Gulf. Like the other Texas cities I've mentioned, Houston also has a wide range of really nice suburbs that offer even more affordability, which we'll get into here today. You're probably leaning towards a couple of these cities now and wondering how they rank in terms of affordability. Keep in mind, these rankings do fluctuate based on economic conditions and location in and around the city, but generally speaking, I'm going to rank these cities from the least to the most affordable. Again, starting with Austin, you're going to find, unfortunately, the highest cost of living, and that seems to have been the case for many decades. In recent years, this had a lot to do with the influx of people and corporations from other states, along with the pandemic itself, but this is slowly changing and has really balanced itself out over, I'd say, the past 2 years or so. Austin also has such a unique setup where people actually want to live close to downtown, an active and vibrant city center that's very different from many of these other Texas cities. The cost of homes surrounding downtown have increased over recent years because there is such a demand for living close to downtown, and there always will be. But on the flip side, there isn't any more land to build unless you increase the density or build vertically. In most suburbs surrounding Austin proper, you can get much more for your money though, so it's important to explore these areas as well. There's some really nice spots. On that note, be sure to check out my other videos highlighting some of these popular neighborhoods around Austin itself. Dallas is slightly more affordable than Austin depending on where you're looking. Like all of these Texas cities, Dallas has a handful of very popular suburbs and high growth areas with really nice homes, master plan communities with a ton of amenities, and a relatively short commute to downtown Dallas when you choose. This is a big reason the city of Dallas itself hasn't seen a population increase because many people are actually choosing to live in the suburbs for a variety of reasons. Houston, being the largest city in Texas, offers a wide range of housing options and over a much broader stretch of land. For this reason, Houston is actually our second most affordable city of the four, with hundreds of large master plan neighborhoods that have great amenities within, all the way up to large historical homes situated in the middle of the city and everything in between. With that being said, San Antonio continues to reign supreme when it comes to the most affordable cost of living. I think this is a big reason we've seen significant growth and development throughout the stretch of land between Austin and San Antonio. As Austin proper gets more expensive and land is limited to develop, the builders are developing the stretch of land between Austin and San Antonio, where you'll find a ton of opportunity in spots like Buda, Kyle, New Braunfels, and so many more in between. Ultimately, the decision of where to live weighs heavily on many factors, including career opportunities, lifestyle preferences, housing costs, and of course, other personal interests. In my opinion, it's really hard to go wrong in any of these Texas cities, though. There's no shortage of entertainment, good food, nice homes, and definitely friendly people. If you're exploring any of these Texas cities, though, be sure to reach out to us because my team and I would absolutely love to help. Until next time.